Thank you, Chairman. Um, Last November 15 of 2021, I received two letters from my federation, the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, or PATAFA, asking me to do two things within 48 hours to return 85,000 euros, corresponding to the entire amount due to my coach, Vitaly Petrov, for his services from 2018 to 2021, and to explain why I should not be removed from the national training pool. To say the least, it was a strange and alien set of requests. First, to return the amount embarked to Coach Petrov's salary that I have already paid him. And second, to justify my own existence as an athlete, based on a set of data and conclusion I was not even privy to. It would appear that my onset of this exchange, my federation, led by Mr. Philip Elahuico, had already judged me as guilty. They assumed that I stole the money, hence they were demanding the return of the entire amount. And for me to reason against the foregone penalty of expulsion, in short, I was guilty before I could even prove my innocence. In the newspapers, based on the leaks of whichever sources, may it be PATAFA, I was portrayed as an embezzler and a theft. Mr. Huico and the PATAFA besmirched my good name in public without even giving me an opportunity to be heard. I could not comply with the first request of returning all funds because all of the money was already paid to my coach from prior months and years of service, with majority of the amount paid months before. Still, I submitted a respectful and heartfelt letter defending my innocence. I asked why I was being persecuted and why my status as a Philippine athlete was being held into question. Hindi po ako magnanakaw. Ako po ay atletang Pilipino at marangal po ako. I am an athlete and my mission is to train and compete for the Philippines and for the Filipino people. In the face global competitions and competitors, have done these two jobs, I believe, diligently and with the help of my family, coaches, friends, sponsors, and God's grace and guidance. I've stood my ground and stayed the course. I have achieved success and performed decently in my sport. I consider it the highest honor to be a world-class Filipino athlete. I'm not, nor should I, be Filipino athlete, be the PATAFA's paymaster. I'm not, in the words of Mr. Philip Huico, despite the gag order from the Philippine Sports Commission on November 24th, as per his interview on CNN on November 25th, his driver, nor am I his messenger or any employee under his charge. The funds we're talking about here are in the millions, not in his word, like money given to his drivers to buy batteries with expectation of change. We both have our proper roles to play in representing and raising the bar of our proud nation. If those roles are not performed efficiently, harmoniously, with decency, and with due process, and to the best of our abilities, then I consider that a great disservice to our country and its citizens. Have broken a 30-year-old Asian record, and I intend to break it again. I am the first Filipino pole vaulter to be ranked top 5 in the world, not probably since Miguel White won the bronze medal in the 400-meter hurdles back in 1936 Berlin Olympics. Has this happened to any Filipino of that matter? In all modesty, I have done the job that was accorded to me. My resolve is strong and unwavering, and I am far from done. It will take more than the current inefficiency and the wild accusations of certain people to break my will and my desire to uplift the Filipino spirit. I have found my footing. I have kept my faith. I will continue to run a good race. That, your honors, I can guarantee you and the Filipino people. Have done all this while being unduly burdened by PATAFA to personally manage the payment of my coach and training staff. My records will show that I have received my funds late, sometimes months late. In that time, had taken my advancement and my personal fund to cover my expenses using my own, my family, my friend, in whichever case, to pull some funds. The current remittance process goes as such. When the pesos finally come from the PSC or the PATAFA, the money that I need to Europe is deposited to my Philippine local bank in the Philippine currency, which is Philippine pesos. I am then the one tasked to handle currency conversion, burdened with overseas remittances charges, allocate and distribute the amounts to my coach, staff, and various living expenses and utilities, All wiring and bank conversion losses are charged to me. Ginampanan ko ang tungkulin ko bilang atletang Pilipino. Hindi ko po masabi kung nagampanan ni Mr. Huico o ng PATAFA ang tungkulin nila bilang NSA. Sa akin po, nila ipinasa ang trabaho na dapat sila ang gumagawa. Wala po bang mas maayos na paraan para mapalakad ang sistemang ganito? Hindi po naman yata tama na mga atleta pa ang magbabayad ng kanilang training expenses at mag-a-advance. Hindi naman po yata reasonable na asahan kaming mga atleta, maging accountant ng PATAFA. Ang trabaho po namin ay mag-training, mag-compete, at pinaka-important is to compete at the highest level when we need to. Hindi ko naman po ito trabaho. Hirap na po akong gawin ito habang nasa kaligitnaan po ng ensayo, ng preparation, ng competition season. May mga time po na in less than a week, I'm traveling in three countries or 4 to compete. I cannot handle all this liquidation. That's my priority is focusing on my job as an athlete is to perform at the best of my abilities. I do not know the motivation behind these letters and why they were issued in the first place. What I do know is that they have nothing to do with improving my skills as an athlete. I have been liquidating my expenses and all my reports are with PATAFA. The last one was submitted in late October 2021, specifically for payments to Coach Petrov that were made in November of 2020, together with corresponding records and transactions. The PATAFA knew that I already paid a substantial portion of the money due to my coach, and yet still proceeded with these charges. It is the PATAFA or whoever's jurisdiction that has a direct contract with my coach. Why should the money go through me in the first place? I have requested this multiple times. Pay my coach directly, pay my coach directly. In the most recent budget proposal, I even recommended pay my people directly because I do not want this job. I have carried out those additional duties as paymaster to the best of my abilities and tried to settle all my obligations on time, and all are in good faith. I could not say the same for Mr. Huico. They have never asked me for an explanation or clarification before issuing these malicious letters. Instead of giving me the benefit of the doubt, they did the exact opposite. All of this was said against a backdrop of moratorium imposed by the Philippine Sports Commission itself to hold on to press releases and let the proper authorities handle the situation internally. They claim that they were acting on the basis of a complaint lodged by the Honorable Sergey Bubka and my coach. But with all due respect to Mr. Sergey and his role to the Philippine sport, I wonder, he is not part of my team at the moment. He's not part of my preparation. And I only talk to him due to technical aspects of my vaulting. I really have no idea. My coach, who has a direct contract with PATAFA, communicated to them in confidence in the belief that it would expedite the release of funds and that it would unburden me of my unnecessary and thankless role. He made the mistake of trusting Mr. Huico. When he realized that he had said was going to be used against me, he immediately issued a retraction, stood by my side in that press media release, acknowledged that he was fully paid and had no issues with me. This great nurturing man, Vitaly Petrov, is not just my coach. He treats me like his son, and I revert to him like a father. You want to attack me, go directly at me. Go at me. I said it multiple times. Don't go to my dad. Don't go to my parents. Go to me. I take personal offense in the manipulation of my coach, have went through a lot for me and for the country with such unsavory endeavors. The very basis of what PATAFA says triggered the investigation does not exist anymore. With Vitaly's retraction in writing of everything that he has said or may have pressured been written, this begs the question, why is he still doing this? My difficulties with Mr. Huico started in 2017. I received an offer from a shoe and apparel sponsor that he wanted to be part of. His additional demands forced the sponsor to pull out of the deal. I ended up begging the sponsor not to drop me as an endorser. We also had an issue leading to Tokyo 2020 Olympics when I wasn't consulted with the selection of my support team. I had to stand my ground and fight for each and every member of my team just to make sure that the essential people that I would need in Tokyo would be there before the deadline of submission. We also had bureaucratic problems associated to the purchase of my equipment, my vaulting poles that I need to use. This resulted in my equipment arriving broken and useless just a week before my flight going to Tokyo. This could have been easily avoided as I have informed Mr. Huico and PATAFA several months, more than 5 months before Olympics, that I need this equipment. I need it ahead of time. I need to train for it. I need to get used to it. I need to be able to compete with them. I could not help but get that impression that he was deliberately trying to sabotage the country's chances at an Olympic medal because of some animosity towards me. After the Olympics, I was selected by the International Olympic Committee as a recipient of the Olympic Solidarity Program, which granted me financial support to train for the 2024 Paris Olympics, which would have funded me without costing the Philippines a single centavo. But Mr. Huico himself did not give me the required NSA endorsement for my paperwork. Instead, he nominated another athlete who is a long shot, with all due respect to him or her, getting past the first round of elimination in the Olympics. The sad part of the whole thing is that the program is athlete specific. When Mr. Huico did not endorse me, the federation, the sport of athletics lost that lone spot that the IOC gave to us, and it was given to another sport and another athlete. Mr. Huico also harassed and pressured my sports psychologist in the past to break doctor-patient confidentiality, which is now the subject of a pending ethics violation case with the Philippine Olympic Committee. Mr. Huico often says that he is like a father in all of us in athletes, but I cannot imagine any father who would treat his children the way Mr. Huico treated me. I have been accused of a crime that I did not commit. Without giving me a chance to air my side, he crucified and vilified me in the media. Kung ganito po ang pagtrato ng ama sa ng kanyang anak, I think I might as well be an orphan. Maging ulila na lang po. Today, I am cut off from all funding. I am alone in Italy, wondering how I can even pay my living and training expenses. I am paying for everything and have been a very hard time self-funding and training costs. I have been more than 100 days or more than 3 months since the last time I received funding from the Philippine Sports Commission and PATAFA. The irony of the whole matter is that now, having this problem, my second father here in Italy, who is now offering to assist me financially, which is none other than my coach, Vitaly Petrov. I'm here to train and to prepare myself for the 2024 Paris Olympics and to represent the flag and country to the best of my abilities. My federation may have abandoned me, but I know that I am not an orphan. I train and jump for my motherland, for the Filipino people. There has been much speculation about my future plans due to the offers that I have been getting from other countries to change flags and change nation. All of these offers came about when the countries heard my plight. They are after me because they know my own mother organization, my federation president, wants me out. Allow me to categorically state that my singular mission is to represent our flag in the 2024 Paris Olympics. And I claim a medal for my country, Philippines, as I truly believe I am capable of doing so. I will never abandon my flag, my country, and my countrymen. The only reason why I won't be jumping for the Philippines is if Mr. Huico kicks me out of the national team and makes my life miserably hard. I now come to you, your honors, for help. I want my name cleared in public. I want to continue to jump and represent for the Philippines. I want to help. I want to be able to train again without being worried that my own NSA will anytime find fault in whatever I am doing and try to kick me out of the team. I want my life back. I want to be able to prepare. I want to be able to train. I want to be able to jump and be able to fulfill my duty as an athlete. The current system, I'm sorry, but your honors, this is not just about me. I choose to speak out now because what is happening to me now is not the first, nor will it be the last. I choose to speak now because I believe in the Filipino people of today, the Filipino athletes and people of tomorrow. I will ask your help to examine the current system and enact the appropriate laws that will clean up the way NSAs are being run. I pray that their finances could be managed and dispersed more efficiently and more effectively. They should be the one handling treasury functions and not delegate it to any of the athletes. They are supposed to be there to help the athletes achieve their full potential, to have a chance to bring glory for the country and to the flag. The NSA should work for the athletes, I believe, and not the other way around. Let our national resources through the NSA efficiently and effectively support our national treasures, our athletes. Let the NSA finally function as the institution that promotes national good through sport and not be treated as a personal kingdom of petty sports leaders. Pakitulungan niyo po kaming mga atleta at maasahan niyo po na gagawin namin ang lahat ng aming makakaya para makapagbigay ng karangalan sa ating bayan. We implore you, nurture and respect us, athletes, and we promise to bring pride and honor to our country with all our might, with all our minds, and with all our hearts. Maraming salamat po.